Second time meeting at the Korean government and the Bank of Korea, that is, to discuss how best to support state banks that will eventually have to make up for losses incurred from corporate restructuring. Our Hwang Ji-hye lays out the options under consideration.
Directly injecting cash into state banks and indirectly supporting them by setting up a fund. Both options were reviewed on Thursday as a task force involving the Finance Ministry, the Bank of Korea, and other related agencies looked for ways to expand the capital base of state banks.
We also discussed specific ways of managing the fund, such as which institute would run the fund and how the capital would be claimed back.
The task force emphasized that although the financial health of the state banks are not in conditions bad enough to cause imminent problems, expansion of capital is necessary to preempt future instability that could be triggered in the process of corporate restructuring. Experts say this indicates the government is moving to prevent bigger losses.
Loss sharing is the key issue of corporate restructuring. Restructuring of General Motors ended up involving state money, in other words, taxes. And that's because the negative impact on the overall economy of that company going bankrupt would have been too huge.
The central bank has remained rather reserved about using its authority to print money and give out cash to state banks, as it's a decision that can affect the overall livelihoods of the Korean public. But the government has been adding pressure on the central bank to do so, as using the state budget would take longer due to the parliamentary approval process. While the question lingers on whether there is enough social consensus about pouring cash into the ailing shipbuilding and shipping industries, the policymakers did make clear that the principle of corporate restructuring is still minimizing the burden on the public. And the task force is planning to lay out clear measures to expand capital for state banks by the end of next month and continuously hold meetings. Hwang Ji-hye, Arirang News.